Hi and welcome to another episode of TRX Bench. Today we have here the final board of a Yaesu FT-817. So that here is the final board of here our FT817, and here on the back side there we have the filter board, and here, so that is a cutout for our little final board, so you know that this radio is producing a 5 watt output, so it is a QRP unit. And so the amplifier, so the final is really this little board here, and you see here on the board the both MOSFETs which are producing our 5 watt, and the same components are used in the FT857 as a driver or exciter stage, and in the 817 it is the final unit. So this both final MOSFETs are blown, and we have to replace them, and that is a little challenge, because you already see that we have here SMD components which are really sitting here on the surface of our PCB, and that is not the only issue we have. Additional to that, you see that we have here our cooling block soldered to finally our components. So there is a cut out underneath, and this cooling block here gets in contact with this little SMD component, so this is really soldered to our MOSFETs, and that is an additional challenge, because first of all we have to get off here our cooling block, and then we have to take out the faulty old components. We have to replace news, and that might be the most important thing, we have to put back here our cooling, our heatsink. So and that needs to get soldered back to our MOSFETs, and you may already see that that might be a challenge. Generally set here to our 817 and even so the 857, this finals here, or this MOSFET components are known for blowing. Also, this here is not the first batch which has been sold by Yaesu, because originally we had two SK2975 in the radio, and the two SK2975 were really very sensitive, and they has blown very often. And you see here that we have already the RD07 MWS1 here in our unit, but this components are blowing as well, and so it is still a pain with all the 817 and FT857. We always have it again and again, and I just wanted to show you the process how to change these components. Alright, and the first I did is I put the little PCB here in my fixture, and I put here some Captain tape over the components just to hold them in place, because as I said, we really have to heat up here our little heat sink. And yeah, so next step will be to heat it up to get it off that, yeah, it finally pops off. Okay, so let's try if we get it managed here around our camera. So, as I told you, we have really to heat it up here a lot. And I try to concentrate the heat really on the heat sink here. And yeah, it really stinks, believe me. No fun. It is moving, and here it is. Very nice. And what you already see is that you know, we have here a lot of tin under our heatsink. So if we look at it, come on, can't get it here. Come on. So if you see it here, you can obviously see that it was tint all over, and we have this little yeah, knobs here on this heatsink, and this go through here the PCB and will make contact to, let me see if you can see it here a little better, and that makes contact here to our MOSFET. So that is definitely the challenge, and you have seen that finally is a way to get it off. And now we have to wait a little while until it is all cooled down, and then we flip it over and we start the process of removing our finals. Alright, so I flipped it over, and as you can see, I have protected here the board entirely with Captain, and I only left here the middle where we have our SMD components, our MOSFETs, open to remove them. And the process is exactly the same. So I take here my hot air and I heat it up, and until I can take them off. So I do not show that on camera. I mean, that is a very clear process, I believe. So that is what it looks like. But I really have difficulties here around the camera, and I have to concentrate a bit on the board because I have to take care here on all our little components on the board. So I really do not want to blow them off. So I really have to be a little bit carefully here. Okay, so and I was easily able to lift them up. So we have here our SMD MOSFETs lying here on our fixture. When I go down, you really see that yeah, we have here on both sides the contacts, and here as well. So our components, so I take here the old one just to demonstrate it, and you see that is the way how they lay here on the board, and that is I just wanted to show you how they look like from the other side. This component don't want to get flipped over. Anyways, So now you can see it, and here in the middle, right here, so that is the area which we have to solder together with our heatsink. So that is, as I already told you, our challenge. So what I'm going to do right now is I clean here the board with some solder wick, and then we can start and to place the new MOSFETs. But before we go ahead with replacing, I just wanted to show you here our test result. So I was able to connect the MOSFET to our tester, and yeah, let's see what our tester will find out. And yeah, so that is what I have expected. So the tester is only recognizing resistor, and yeah, so that was the behavior of the unit, so that it was only drawing a current through our component, and that was it. So yeah, therefore we replace them now. We are sure that they are blown, and yeah, as I said, that is very often that these components are really dying here in these units. Anyways, let's replace them. Okay, now the first what I've done, I have cleaned here our solder pads to get off all the unleaded solder, and now I can put in a thin layer of new leaded solder, and then I can flow the new MOSFETs in. Okay, so I have rearranged here a little bit the setup just to be able to show you from a better perspective how we approach. And yeah, the last what we did is we cleaned here our pads, that the unleaded solder is off, and now of course we have to put some tin to it to have the right preparation to put on the new ship. Okay, so we really only need a little tin here, so we do it here very carefully. So yeah, really do not need much. Okay. And that is exactly how we play this game here, right? Okay. Right, so I have flux already here on our solder points, and now I have to place here the new component. And yeah, now I can start, I really can start soldering it in. Okay, so let's try what we can do here. Again, let me try to align it here a little bit, but as far our solder melts, looks pretty nice. So the first one is in, as you can see. I will check if the situation is also good on the other side, and if the alignment is fine, we go ahead with the second one. All right. Okay, so the new MOSFETs are in, and of course I have to clean here a little bit. That is for sure. But basically you see they are quite nicely in, as it should. And now we can of course here flip it over, and we can here arrange our board on the other side. Yeah, here again, I hope you can see it. Yeah, you can. We have now again here our heatsink, what we need to install back. And yeah, where is my heatsink? Yeah, it is here. And yeah, you see it has to go like this here. But before we can do it, I have to put a little amount of solder here into the middle. And yeah, we have to be very carefully, because it should really not be too much. So therefore, yeah, let me do it very, very carefully. Okay, so it is running, and now I take my SMD solder for this job, of course, and now really careful. And you see it don't want. Okay, so that is the first one, and now a second one. So normally that should be fine. And now when I put back my heatsink, we should see that it is not completely fitting in here, because now the new solder is a little bit in the way, and therefore we have to put it on, and then we heat it, and then it should you know, jump in or fall in, or however you want to call it, and then we know that we finally have a good connection. Okay, so therefore we put of course here some flux around, because we all know we cannot have enough flux, so therefore that is really important. And yeah, I hope that is fine. And now I can place back here my heatsink to the board. And of course we have to be careful that finally here our holes will finally align, because otherwise I will not be able to bring it back, you know. Alright, so let's hope that it will work. align it a little bit. And now it is obviously nice in position. Yeah, feels very, very good. Yeah, that is fine. Okay, that it is. Great. Okay, and it is still very, very hot. I still can't touch it with my hands, but I hope, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I hope that I can, oh yeah, here, all is still very hot. I mean, this is clear. So now you see it has nicely connected here to the PCB, and our holes are fine as well. And you can see, and I hope I can now take here everything off, and you can see that the new MOSFETs are in. Looks pretty nice from my point of view. Very important, oh, it is still very hot, oh my goodness. Very important here, again, you need to watch here the orientation. So this little dot here is indicating for our gate. So that is gate, and then that is drain, and here we have our source connections, right? So that is what we have here, and again here is our block, and you see, if we look that way, that it is flat here on our PCB, which is of course exactly what we need. We need a good connection here, and yeah, so that finally is our process, how to swap out here our MOSFETs, and yeah, that is a little bit delicate job. So I thought it is a good idea to show it, that you all can imagine how it really looks like. Now, of course, I go here over the entire PCB once again, and be careful, really not here to do anything silly to your coils. And yeah, now we can really clean it here, all what we have, and then it can go back into our radio. Okay, that's it for today. I just wanted to show you how you can arrange it, and yeah, catch you next time. Bye.